Hey all, so this is a bit of an impromptu video. I didn't have anything to post today, which is Friday. This will probably go up either Friday night or Saturday. And I thought maybe I would just do a chatty video, talk about some things that I've been seeing, noticing, talk about my soap business a little bit. And I don't know, just talk. Right now I am covered in glitter. I worked all day, but we're gonna do this anyway, so let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do, you can probably hear my printer in the background. I'm printing labels. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some soap stamped, and then we're going to make the boxes and put the labels on the boxes and get those all packaged up because I have a market next Friday for Mother's Day. So let's get started. Alrighty, let's get the soap ready here. So I have 2 soaps to stamp, and one of the things I actually like the best about putting my soap in boxes now is that I don't got to worry about the shrink wrap getting loose if I want to package my soap a little bit earlier than I normally would. So that's kind of nice. Just looking for my stamp here because clearly I did not plan this out very well. And my plastic wrap. And I got some bath bombs here on the side. I'll show you those later if you want. Clean my space off. Alright, so the first soap we're going to stamp is going to be, and let's turn some light on here. I really need to get a good ring light. This is Morel Fairies. It is a lilac scented and colored with pink rose clay, pink French clay. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. And there's some biodegradable eco glitter on top. And all I'm going to do is lay these out, and we're going to stamp them. Now, I do find, let's make sure this is centered so you can see what's going on. I find that I don't have any issues stamping my soap a couple weeks, even a month later. I don't have a problem. I know some people will say that your soap gets too hard. My soap cures nice and hard, but I've never had an issue with stamping. So, oh, apparently I'm not doing this right. Just a second. Let's flip it over. Again, clearly I was not prepared for this. Although I did say this was impromptu. So I got my stamp. This came from Curtis Merchandise on Etsy. She is in PEI, Canada. And with these 3D stamps, I find I need to use plastic wrap. I can't just use rubbing alcohol sprayed on a stamp like I do with the acrylic stamps. I do prefer an acrylic stamp, but this is what I've got, and I really like the logo, and I don't want to pay for another one right now, so we will have to keep using the plastic wrap until I'm ready to buy a new stamp. If you have any questions on any of the processes or anything that I'm doing, just leave a comment. I'm pretty good about responding to all of my comments. I am not a giant YouTube channel, so I do see all the comments. And also, too, thank you very much to everyone who has subscribed. I've been over 1,000 subscribers for a couple weeks now, and closing in on 1,100, so thank you very much. All I gotta do now is get my views and my watch time up so that I can get monetized, which is freaking fabulous. And this is what my soap stamp looks like. I love it. I love how, I don't know, how much it finishes off my bar. Just, I don't know, gives it that nice finishing touch, makes it look professional. This is also a really lovely lilac scent. I bought it from Windy Point Soap. It's called Lilac and Bloom if you're looking for it. Now the next soap we're going to do is Sointula Satsuma. It is shades of orange with some biodegradable eco glitter, and this glitter comes from Star Sprinkle Glitter on TikTok. shout out all the small businesses that I can. And I think my labels are all done printing, so that's good. And hopefully they're aligned properly. I buy my labels from Online Labels, and then I use Canva to design them, and then I print them with their Maestro label printer thing from Online Labels. And I used to have problems with alignment, but now that I print a PDF and then I open the PDF and I print, they're just fine. Usually don't have any problems with alignment when I do it that way. I have a Canon EcoJet printer. It's the, is it the Prisma or the Pixma or something? I don't know. It's Canon EcoJet anyway. And it used to make me super frustrated until I figured out to run the diagnostics and the maintenance to align the printer head, because like an idiot I thought it was just going to work perfectly fine out of the box, and lo and behold it does not. So I ran the diagnostics, wasted some ink in the process, but now the printer works really well and I have no complaints. Now, I don't love stamping soap, but I love the way it looks when it's stamped. I have, however, stopped beveling my soap. Now that I'm putting it in a box, honestly, I just don't care. I don't find that it matters as far as... A lot of people say they like to bevel the soap because the edges are sharp in your hand, but I bought another maker soap couple months ago and it wasn't beveled, used it in the shower, and after about 30 seconds the edges were soft anyway, like they weren't sharp, and I was like, why am I beveling my soap? I hate beveling it. I don't like the waste. I don't like confetti soap, so why am I doing this? So I stopped. And life has been much better. Alright, so we are going to pause for a brief commercial break, and when we come back we will be over at the other table, and we will be boxing and labeling. Alright, and just like that, through the magic of television, we have labels, and, oh, I'm mad. I am mad. These ones are not aligned. I don't know what, you know why? I printed it on the wrong one. I don't know if you can see. These are square labels. I thought that I had all of my labels, so anyway. Anyway, the alignment on the right labels is beautiful and perfect, so there's that. Alright, we're gonna do 16 bars of soap in total, and we will go over and print those last two labels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You didn't know this was going to be a preschool counting, did you? Oh gosh, it's stuck in the elastic. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Alright, let's go hit print. Put these back. I bought my boxes from a gentleman named Jeff Marshall. And I can never remember their website, but I will find it. And I will post it for you in the comments or in the description bar so that you can also find Jeff if you like. Alright, and we are back. So, we are just going to get our boxes lined up, and we'll zoom you in a little bit here. And we're just going to turn off the light because sometimes my phone overheats and we don't need to light as much over here, so there's that. So with these boxes, this is a 2x3 inch label. 2x3? 2x3. And I'm just going to put it as close to the edge as I can, centered, and that's what it looks like. And it's pretty centered. Looks pretty good. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, what was I saying? I buy my boxes from a guy named Jeff. I will look up the company for you. When I bought these in November, and by the way, they have sales all the time for 10% off. When I bought them in November, I paid, with foreign exchange, about 47 cents Canadian, all in, shipping, everything, no hidden costs. They helped me through the entire design process. I think we went through 8 different edits before I was happy with my box. And they were a delight to work with, no issues at all. I had designed my labels, or my logo and everything myself, on Canva. I'm using fonts from Canva. And yeah. Very happy with the service, very happy with the quality of the boxes. I will say the white boxes, I have had a couple boxes so far that have some defects. And I think that's a lot to do with the fact that the boxes are white, so you just see every little defect. But you can pretty much get whatever you want. And like I said, super easy to deal with. Let's just go grab those labels off the printer. And oh look, they look much better now. They're not printed on my lip balm labels. Or my, you know, soap labels. The ones I used to use for my soap. Still use those labels for my Sabbats collection. And any, you know, odd shaped soaps that I make. I use the 2x2 labels from Online Labels. It actually took me a long time before I committed to buying from Online Labels, because they just seem so expensive with the shipping. But even with shipping and foreign exchange, they're still super cheap compared to anything that you're going to find on Amazon. So keep that in mind when you're shopping for labels. Alright, so we have 2 left over, 2 blank ones. We're just going to put those over there and we'll figure out a use for those blank ones later. It is easy to reuse labels if you're not printing on them. You can run them through your printer again. I never have any issues. Also, too, if you are watching this, thank you so much. I appreciate you. It is viewers like you is the reason I do this. And that's how I've grown my channel. It's really exciting to be over 1,000 subscribers. And if you have any tips and tricks for me on how to increase my watch time on my videos, please leave them below, because I mean, between having a full-time job, a soap business, and running a household, it's not easy devoting all the time that it takes to build a business and, you know, build it on social media and YouTube and all that good stuff. Alright, so we will just go throw this in the trash and come back and build our boxes. Also have a chronic runny nose. Is anybody else having some severe allergy issues right now? It's unbelievable the amount of pollen. And I'm on Vancouver Island. Oh look, there's cat hair on my box. That's awesome. Let's just get rid of that. Anyway, what was I saying? Besides cat hair being the bane of my existence, the pollen is just insane. And really, like, what can we do about it? There's like nothing. I actually saw a TikTok the other day, and I don't remember exactly what the phenomena or the agricultural term is called, but basically back in the 50s and 60s, people, the city planners, because they didn't want to deal with the fallout of having female trees and shrubs and the mess that they would cause, they only planted male trees and shrubs in cities. But the problem is that the male trees and shrubs are the ones that produce the pollen, and then the females are the ones that absorb the pollen because they're, you know, pollinating and fertilizing the flowers and whatever, right? So it backfired because you have all these male trees and plants producing all this pollen in city centers, but there's no other trees to absorb the pollen. So we're just like overwhelmed with all this pollen in the air for no reason. If they had planted female trees, then the female trees would have helped with the whole pollen issue. So I'm mad at the city planners from the 50s and 60s. Now, I don't know if this was like all over the place, like, you know, I don't know if this was outside of North America or, you know, or what, but yeah, apparently it's a thing. And this girl's written research papers, you know, over the course of her life, her schooling. Every time she has been able to choose her subject, this is what she writes about, and I thought it was fascinating. And then I also curse the city planners. Now, this might be a bit of a rambly video of, like, I don't know, random topics. I obviously, sorry, opening a window here because it's kind of warm in here. So, like most soap makers, I watch a lot of other soap makers making videos. And on TikTok, the Bubbly Fox, she was talking about IFRA guidelines, and it's actually pretty shocking how many soap makers out there in the world don't know that there are like very specific guidelines and different safe usage rates for every single different fragrance oil and essential oil. And soap makers are making soaps and just dumping whatever their heart thinks is right into their soap batter, and that's kind of scary. So if you are not a soap maker, or if you're new, you will quickly learn, hopefully, that all fragrance and essential oils have a safe usage rate, and it is the International Fragrance and something, something, something. You can look it up. It's IFRA, I-F-R-A. And they say what the safe usage is for any particular... A box is just not going in there properly like I want it to. They basically tell you what you can and cannot put in your soap for any particular fragrance oil. For instance, I don't know if I have one sitting here that has it listed on it. Oh, maybe I do. Hold on. So, for Cocoa Butter Cashmere from Fizz Fairy, they have the safe usage rates on their bottle. So, body wash for this particular one, 8.19%, candles 100, incense 100, laundry detergent, shampoo, and soap. And that's important. You cannot go over 8.19% in your soap, or else it's not safe to use. It could hurt someone. You could cause skin irritation, sensitization, in, you know, some cases, you know, rashes, burns. It's just not safe. And shockingly, there are soap makers that are making soap that don't know that. Like, they don't know that that exists. They think that they can just use whatever they want. So, it's very important when you're making soap. Also very important as a consumer to purchase from someone that you trust and do your own little bit of research. Because, especially if you're sensitive like I am, you just never know. You never know what that soap maker is, you know, what they're putting in their soap that may not be safe for you. Anyway, I thought that was really good that the Bubbly Fox posted that TikTok. Then she also, because it actually, there's a couple of people that really, like, legitimately that were making soap in her comments that just didn't know. Another thing too that's same topic, parallel topic, is safety. I see when I'm, you know, surfing TikTok at night, especially TikTok, not so much YouTube, although I'm sure it exists on YouTube too. I've seen it on YouTube. Is people who are not using safe soaping practices. For instance, wearing gloves, wearing long sleeves, wearing eye gear, wearing, you know, whatever, when they're working with lye, which is sodium hydroxide. It's a very caustic chemical, and it can cause life-changing burns. You can lose your eyesight if you get sodium hydroxide solution or granules in your eyes. You can cause very, very serious chemical burns. And if you have a strong stomach, please feel free to Google sodium hydroxide chemical burns and take a look at what comes up. And there are so many people that are posting TikToks and videos not using safe soaping practices. It's a little astounding, to be honest. And also, not only are they doing a disservice to themselves because they could severely hurt themselves, they're doing a disservice to anyone who's watching their video. Because if you're brand new to soap making and you're doing research and you're just, you know, absorbing all the content that you can find, and you come across a soap maker that you really like, and they're not wearing gloves, they're not wearing long sleeves, and they're working with these, you know, dangerous chemicals, you might look at that and think, oh yeah, cool, that's, you know, that's the right way to do things. I trust this person. And then that person who's watching you is learning from you the wrong practices or dangerous practices. And I think that's scary to me. So I always wear, I shouldn't say always, I almost always wear long sleeves. I always wear gloves. I always wear eye gear, and I usually wear a face mask too, like a shield. And when I'm mixing up sodium hydroxide solution, I always wear a respirator, just to be safe, because you just never know. That's why it's called an accident. But anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to share that because it's something that really bothers me, and I just wanted to share it. Because if you want to use unsafe soaping practices, that's completely on you. You go right ahead. You're the one who's taken, you know, that it's your risk to take. But if you're doing it on a social media platform for everyone to see, you're really doing people a disservice, and you could potentially secondhand be hurting someone. But anyway, this is what the boxes look like when they're put together. I have my fragrance notes on the side, all of my stuff on the back, my social media and website on the side, and all that good stuff. And then I have my contact information and place for a barcode if I so choose. So this is Sointula. So we're just going to make sure the logo's facing front and just drop it in. Now these boxes hold, this bar is I think 1.2 inches wide. They cure out to be about 150 grams weight. And I make these bars in the standard Amazon molds, and I cut 8 bars in the mold, and then I have a really nice size sample on each end. And I really don't fluff them up too much, or else they're too tall for the box. But yeah, that's what they look like. I really like the way it came out. I really enjoy how these boxes have really elevated my brand. So when I moved to boxes, I increased the price of my bar soap by $1, but I also made them bigger. So at the end of the day, my bars, like, my customers are not really getting less, and they're getting a much more aesthetically pleasing bar of soap for the same, you know, price per gram, more or less. See, this one's actually a little bit too tall, but it's okay. Oh, this box is popping up a little bit. So what you can do, if your lids won't stay closed because maybe you've made the bar too big, you can buy clear stickers, and just, they're like good for sealing your products and stuff because it gives a tamper-proof seal. You can just get one of those stickers and just put it over the back. But for my bars of soap, I don't think it's really necessary. Although I have done it. Just gonna unceremoniously drop the bars in. I feel like I had other things I wanted to talk about, but I don't remember what it was. Just things that I've been seeing on TikTok and on YouTube lately that I thought was like, yeah, that's a good idea. I know one other thing was, I think it was yesterday, I was watching Sarah Girl Soap, who is on YouTube, and I think the title of her video was, basically, are you made to run a business, or something like that. And she made a lot of good points, because running a small business is a lot of work. And most people who are running a small business are also still working full-time, at least when they're starting out. I mean, honestly, like, not to cast shade on anyone, but unless you have a spouse that can more or less afford to pay all the household bills, you still need to work. Because you just can't do it. You just can't make it work. Making sure that I'm got on my, there we go. Anyway, I was getting sidetracked by my boxes. So yeah, like, I still have a full-time job. I'm actually the sole income earner right now in my household. My husband has not worked for 10 months, and not only is that very frustrating, but it's really hard, because not only am I working full-time, I'm trying to figure out how to pay all the bills every month, and I'm trying to run a small business and get all that done too. And if you're new here, I'm an accountant by day, and tax season just ended. And I worked only 32 hours of overtime in April, which was great. No complaints there. But still, that was still almost 50 hours a week. Every week in... Actually, I think I did end up working 50 hours a week each week, from like the last week of March to the last week of April. 50 hours a week. Plus, you know, making product, just doing stuff, you know, doing wholesale orders and posting on social media and trying to post videos on YouTube to make sure that, you know, the algorithm is still pushing my videos out to people. And yeah, it's just, it's exhausting. And I have a chronic illness. I have fibromyalgia, so that just makes things worse. And stress makes fibromyalgia worse. So yeah, it's just this horrible, you know, vicious circle, I guess you could say. Okay, that burr. Okay, we're at the bottom there. So yeah. So her video was great, and you should go watch that if you haven't seen it already. Is this bar just not going all the way down? Did I make this bar too tall? I might have. See, that's the problem. You make a bar of soap too tall, and then it doesn't fit in the box. Let's go get a sticker. I'll show you how I use the stickers if I can find them. There they are. So anyway, Sarah made lots of good points about, as much as we may love our soap businesses, it can be really hard, especially if it's not moving as quickly as you'd like it to. So this is the sticker, just a clear sticker, and all you have to do is just that. And then it has a tamper-proof seal, so you don't got to worry about whether someone's trying to get into your boxes. Especially good if you're selling wholesale and your bars will be sitting on somebody's store shelf where you can't monitor them. Anyway, where was I? Oh god, all these bars, these last few bars might be too tall. Oh, that one's okay. As long as the back folds down all right, it's good. So yeah, I don't know, I thought it was a good video, and although, you know, I agreed with everything that she said, it's nothing new for me. Thought it was really good for people to hear who may not necessarily realize it. One thing that she talked about was how, you know, you belong to a soap group and you'll get someone that's like, hey, I'm new, give me your recipe. And like, That's pretty frustrating for most soap makers, I'll tell you that. Whether you're asking for my soap recipe, my lotion recipe, whatever, right? Like, unless I'm offering it up, you should never be asking people to give their research and development away for free. And some people might be happy to do that. Lots of people aren't. And that's actually why I started a Patreon, because I'm like, I have some recipes, some formulas that I spent a lot of time on. Right now, I am working on trial 6 of my deodorant, and I'll probably do at least one more trial. And once that's ready and I'm happy with it, I'm gonna put that on my Patreon. And my Patreon for the formula level is only $5. $5 a month. And I already have a few things up, and that will be one of the things too. And I thought, you know, even if no one joins my Patreon, it's there. And if people want to join, they can, and they'll have access to those recipes and that I'm happy with and that I use in my business. But anyway, I feel like this video is getting really long. It's almost 25 minutes, and I think we're gonna stop there. It's gonna show you how pretty my boxes look one more time. Super happy with this. If I forget to post Jeff's contact information in the description box, please ask for it and I will do that. And these bars will be up on the website tonight, I think. I don't see why not. Actually, I forgot to take a... Did I take a picture of these? I'll have to check. I might have to do my photography first, but they'll be up shortly. And also, too, when I do my photography, I use Photoroom, and it is worth every cent to pay for the full version. And even if you don't pay for the full version, it is very, it's a very powerful program, and it's definitely worth using. Anyway, enough of that. This video is already getting too long. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. If you have any questions, leave them below. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button for more soapy content, and we'll be back soon with more. Thanks!